If you guys are new to my channel, first of all, hello, my name is Alyssa and I draw lots of cute stuff, mainly Animal Crossing, Nintendo, Disney, that kind of thing is kind of my vibe this year. And I'd previously done some mashup stuff of Animal Crossing with Nintendo characters like Splatoon meets Raymond and, Mario meets Animal Crossing kind of stuff. So this week I thought it would be fun to do Disney princesses and princes and Animal Crossing villagers and spin the wheel a couple times and see what kind of couples we get paired together with each other, And I think the wheel was kind enough to give us some challenges and some softballs. So on one picker wheel, I had Aladdin and Jasmine, Ariel and Eric, and Beast and Belle. And on the other wheel, I had Maple, Rosie, Stitches, Dom, Marshall, and Anka. And though the footage is a little glitched out looking for some reason, the wheel did not disappoint. We got some very interesting mashups. So with our couples decided, let's get to work on the first mashup. The first mashup I wanted to work on and do first, because I thought it would be the biggest character design challenge, and I was right, was the Beauty and the Beast mashup of Anka and Rosie. Now, Rosie as Belle I think turned out perfectly fine. I made the executive decision to not give her Belle's hair, her updo. I thought it would just look a little bit cuter and sweeter if I just left Rosie in her natural hair state with her little tufts of triangular hair. I just think Rosie has this adorable, innocent look to her, and I wanted to keep that in this art, even though, it would have been a little more, Disney accurate to give her Belle's updo. I just decided to not do it. Now, Anka as the Beast was a very interesting challenge. There are quite a few concept sketches that I did prior to this Procreate document that I ended up deleting because they didn't turn out so great. And admittedly, I'm not super thrilled with how this version came out either, but I think this was the most successful of the sketches I did, so I just rolled with it. Something about the Beast's proportions with Animal Crossing proportions and trying to mix and match those sensibilities together is really tough, or at least it was for me, and it still looks like a random character's head kind of glued onto Beast's body a little bit to me. It's a really weird and difficult mashup to do, and I was kind of hoping that the softball pick for this one from the wheel, if the wheel had graced us with Stitches as the Beast, what I totally would have done is just basically drawn the Beast but with X's for eyes and with Stitches coloring and would have just called it a day. I think I would have pushed it a little bit further than that, maybe, but that would be definitely the easy way out, so the wheel didn't give me the easy way out. The wheel gave me Anka as the Beast, so I had to make it work. Admittedly, I do think Anka looks kind of cool with the teeth sticking up, the fangs sticking up, the bulldog mouth. I think that kind of works for her. And I got rid of her little forehead charm because with the horns on her head, I thought it would just be too much going on her head. There was already so much going on with the rest of the character. I didn't think it was necessary for it to convey that it was Anka as the Beast. The coloring and the hair and everything gives it away more than anything else, so I don't think it needed that little head ornament. The horns were enough head decoration, I think. But the horns kind of work for her too, since she is kind of like an Egyptian mythology thing. It's looks like a mythological beast almost, so it fits with her a little bit. I'm just trying to justify how weird this mashup looks, okay? For any of you who are wondering what brushes I'm using in this video, I am using a couple different Procreate default brushes, sometimes for texture, but the main brushes I'm using for the inking in all these, as well as a lot of the painting, 85 to 90% of the painting, are two brushes from the Jing Sketch Ultimate Brush set. There's an affiliate link in the description below where you can download it from. Full disclosure, I make a couple dollars if you download it from that link, but I had paid for it with my own money back in the day and became an affiliate later, and I use these brushes for absolutely everything now, so I can totally vouch for them. They're very versatile. I like that they're a good mix of firm but not too firm, soft but not too soft, I don't know, it's got a little bit of texture so it doesn't look totally digital, but it's nice and crisp and clean and smooth looking too. I've really been enjoying these brushes lately, so I use them for almost everything you see in this video. So shout out to the Jing Sketch brush set. Link to that is in the description below if you guys have Procreate and want to try them out. There's a ton of other brushes in the set, but I really like those too. So as I was working on this one, I made the choice to not add a background to this one because I was a little burnt out of this piece, because the more I kept looking at Anka Beast, the more I wanted to completely redo it and try something different. And I knew I wanted to get this video done sometime this year. So I thought, I'll just leave the background white for this one and let it be. I'll be at peace with it. Because this is just a very silly looking mashup, even if the couple is cute. Like, Anka and Rosie would be a cute couple, like a Snooty with a Peppy is kind of funny. But just the character design of the Beast is so tough to work with. I think, like I said, although they're a very cute couple and I did my best, it's just a weird mashup. So shout out to the wheel for this very odd pick. Next up is Ariel and Prince Eric as Marshall and Dom. And I wanted this to be the statue scene because I had this silly idea to do Ariel's grotto filled with some Gulliver items. Now, if I wanted to spend another 20 hours plussing up this piece, I would definitely fill out the shelves with a lot more clutter. But maybe Marshall Ariel is just Marie Kondoing the place and only kept the things that brought him joy. So there's only a couple items on the shelves, but it gets the idea across, I guess. Admittedly, I was watching TV while I was working on this one for most of it, so if you guys do ever become patrons or watch the full-length paint footage that I'll be uploading in the next day or so, depending on how long it takes to upload, because it's 4 hours of footage, almost, this part of the video is the longest because there's a lot of stuff I fiddle with and just stare at for a while and then do a brush stroke, so it shouldn't have taken as long as it did, but it did, I fiddled around with lots of things. And silly me, I thought this one would actually be way faster to complete than the final Aladdin mashup. I worked on this one last. I finished this one yesterday morning. It took the longest, but I thought it would go faster because in my mind I'm like, oh, everything in the scene is basically monochromatic except for Ariel. It's like all this gray, blue, green, monochromatic cave color, right? So I'm like, oh, I'll just do a wash of color and then just add shadows and highlights. It'll go super fast. That's not how it went at all. I got fixated on trying to make it feel like the screenshot. So I was actually going in and painting the shadows on the same layer, doing some painting, which is not really my thing. I've done digital painting, but it's not my strong suit. I like cell shading and stuff like that, or very basic, add a soft shadow layer or whatever. I don't typically go in and paint stuff on the same layer. It's a lot to think about, color and value and all that kind of stuff. And I guess I set myself up for the challenge of it and decided to do it. And as a result, it took way longer than I thought it would. But I think it came out pretty cute anyway. As I was watching this footage back earlier to make sure it was all working, I was thinking to myself, what would have been the perfect picks for the wheel to make, right? So for me, a perfect pick for stitches would be the Beast. Like I said, I imagined that would be the mashup, and I already had an idea in my mind of how I would do it, but the wheel didn't pick that for me, it picked Anka. I think the perfect pick for Anka that would be super on the nose, I think would be her as Jasmine. The gold jewelry and the blue really matches her color scheme well. Desert princess kind of vibe. I really want to do some concept art sketches of Anka as Jasmine, and whatever the best sketch ends up being, I'll put up on Twitter or something, or finishing it as a full color piece or whatever. But the speed paint for that and all the concept sketches for that, I would probably just put on Patreon as exclusives. But I really want to do that now that I was, thinking about the perfect mashups and, what could have been for this video. I think I'll do that piece later as a standalone fun thing. Because it just makes so much sense, doesn't it? Anka as Jasmine. I'm sure it's been done before too, because it's just such an obvious pairing. But who would have been the best Ariel? Maybe Rosie. I was gonna say Maple, but her personality doesn't seem to fit. I feel like Rosie being peppy, I feel like she'd be one to want to explore and like find cool stuff, and she would be the type of character to find a fork interesting, you know? So I think Rosie as Ariel would be a good fit. A really funny fit, I think, would be Dom as Ariel, because I think it would be a cute and funny design challenge to make a little chubby, stubby, stumpy mermaid with a big, puffy sheep head. I think that would be a really funny mashup, too, is Dom as Ariel. Prince Eric is such a, like, non-character. He's such a cardboard cutout of a character that he only exists as, like, a goal for Ariel in the movie. So I don't think there's a perfect pick for Eric, but I think in the context of this statue that's supposed to be, you know, serious and heroic looking, I think Dom was the best pick because he has the funniest looking, cutest face of any of these choices. So I think it was a good fit to be Dom, I think. Marshall, I think, would have made a cute Aladdin because I can just see the big puffy white hat on him, on his little head, and you would actually be able to see his cute little squirrel tail rather than it being hidden by it being a mermaid tail instead of a squirrel tail. So that would have been a cute mashup too. But let me know what you guys think. Like, what would have been the ideal mashups on this wheel? Like, what could the wheel have chosen for us that would have been more interesting or funny or whatever? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Overall, this piece took way longer than it needed to for a few different reasons. But I think it looks pretty cool, you know, it feels like the screenshots, it feels like Ariel's grotto, admittedly not as cluttered as hers is, but I think people would get the idea that it's like Animal Crossing Gulliver items in the grotto instead of like forks and whatever. Though I did add a candlestick to try to clutter up that corner just a tiny bit more. I don't know if it worked or not. It still looks, the shelves look pretty organized and clean, all things considered, but you know, the vibe is there, right? And I think these two are an interesting and funny couple. I really like Dom as the Eric statue, and I had to give Marshall the little red tuft of hair because it's just not Disney's Ariel without the red hair. So I made the executive decision to give him red hair, red spikes, or whatever you want to think of it as. Otherwise, the piece would be basically monochromatic without that little punch of red, and it draws your eye right to the center of the picture, so it works out best that way. Overall, pretty cool vibes, looks a lot like a Disney mashup, so I'm pleased with it. Last but not least, the wheel granted us the ultimate softball, I think. 2 cuddly bear characters, basically just 2 teddy bears doing Disney cosplay. Very in my artistic comfort zone. I didn't have any like struggles or challenges drawing this piece, and overall I think it came out really cute. It's my favorite of the 3, but it's also very much within my artistic comfort zone. I didn't add a lot of detail to the background like I did with the Little Mermaid one, and I didn't have an interesting character design challenge the way I did with the Beauty and the Beast one. It was all very straightforward and simple. Cute bears on a magic carpet, simple puffy cloud background with some stars. It's cute, it's effective, I liked drawing it, and I really liked the piece, but it wasn't as much of a challenge, so in that way it wasn't as fun. But you know, I was grateful to the mercy of the picker wheel that I was lobbed a softball, and I think I hit it out of the park. Ha ha ha. I really like this one though. I think Maple as Jasmine is very cute. Though like I said, I think Anka as Jasmine would be a better fit because she's got a little bit more sass to her. Whereas Maple is just super hyper sweet. You know, I think she's a normal character type in the game. But being normal mixed with her very soft pastel brown cozy sweater type of character design in Animal Crossing, I just think of her as like the ultimate sweetheart. Like her and Goldie I think are probably the most cuddly, cutesy looking, I don't know, very cozy looking characters. So maybe not a personality fit for Jasmine, but I think as far as a Jasmine cosplayer, I think she's pretty cute anyway. I had entertained briefly the idea of the carpet being like a Gracie carpet to make it even more Animal Crossing-y, because I had just finished the sketch of the Little Mermaid piece and I was thinking, ooh, how can I add more Animal Crossing stuff to this mashup? But none of the Gracie carpets would really work, because the more detailed carpet she does sell is like the Persian rugs, but they're a little bit dull and grayish. They're monochromatic, and they're also square. They're not rectangular, so they wouldn't have that nice magic carpet shape. And also the colors would just be like kind of weird. They wouldn't go well with a nice purpley, bluey, dreamy sky. And they're also not iconic enough. Like, I don't think anybody would look at it and think it's a Gracie carpet. They would just think, oh, why are they on a random carpet that's not the magic carpet from Aladdin? So it wouldn't have added anything to the piece. It wouldn't have added anything except for like one person who would go, oh, Gracie sells that rug, cool. So I decided not to do that. It wouldn't have added anything of value to the piece. So sometimes a mashup can just be the obvious thing and be simple and cute and effective. This was the obvious choice, is just put two bears in cosplay on the magic carpet and call it a mashup. It's the obvious choice, it was the simple choice, it was the path of least resistance, but it came out cute, so I can't be mad at it, you know? And sometimes the path of least resistance is like the more enjoyable walk, you know? You don't always have to go outside your comfort zone, though. You should try. So I'm grateful to the almighty picker wheel for granting me some different design challenges and struggles along the way, as well as this nice easy mashup as well. And as you would assume from this being like well within my art comfort zone, this piece came together fairly quickly. I didn't really have any difficulties bringing it all together, and it came out super cute, I think, in this final reveal here. And if you guys do like this piece or the other two pieces in this video, I will be putting them up for sale as prints over at alyssaaaron.com/special. Special shout out to my patrons over at patreon.com/alyssaaaron who have been especially patient with me. I have been up to my eyeballs in client stuff lately, and I might have to go to bi-weekly videos for a while just to get on top of that for the next like month or two. Just to prioritize, you know, my day job over my fun hobby. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the way life goes. But if you'd like to join these super amazing people and become a patron of this channel, it's only $5 a month. You can also support the channel for free by leaving a comment, subscribing if you haven't already, or signing up for my free monthly newsletter at alyssaaaron.com/hi. I'll be sending that out in the next day or two as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this goofy mashup video. I really hope to do more videos like this in the future. Like I said, I might be bi-weekly uploading for a little while, but I will keep you guys in touch with what I'm working on. I have a couple ideas for this summer that I've planned out for a while that I'd love to get done on time. So I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.